lately wants to see if it can move for $1. That's BAOS. It'll be on the volume for sure. But the big thing that's dragging us down today feels like it's been Nvidia. Yuck, yuck, down 2.5% and still kind of unable to catch too much of a bid. On the plus side, Netflix doesn't suck anymore, so there's at least that.
Oh, really? Is Netflix going back up over there?
Well,
yeah,
I mean, it's up. It's only up 2 points, but this one catching a little bit of a bid. Relatively strong. You can't really take anything against. You can't really say anything against them here. Good day for Meta as well. I'm in Johnny Drama, a little bit above VWAP, but it rejected the prior close price 3 times. When I put in the lower high, jumped into this one. So that's the only position I'm in. But I have to admit, I'm pretty happy to see Netflix randomly catching a little bit of a buy action. The question becomes, can it sustain it? We've seen dead cat bounces in Uber, dead cat bounces in Netflix. Can it hold this time? Not really sure, but the market itself, it might be weak, but it's just hanging on for dear life as oil has shown 0 signs of slowing down. USO has basically just been bleeding upside all day long. Like, it is just grinding.
I got to say, shout out over here to Juan Padilla. Yeah, unfortunately, I wish more people looked at the sticky note one. But yeah, did you see Intel came to $100? Yes, I did. But, you know, again, I don't want to leave orders pending when I'm not here. And thank you so much for pointing that out, because there it is right there. Intel $100 short. That would have been, I've only traded 2 names, right? And that would have definitely been, the high of the day is $100 right there. So that would have been the short of all shorts. But what are you going to do? We did miss it. One, I hope you have it. That's all that really matters. You know, we can lead the horse to water, but will they drink it? Apparently not. We're seeing some updates out of Orogenics, ticker OGen, on the NYSE American. This company has now activated its Phase 2A clinical trial in Australia, with its first fully operational inpatient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion, mild traumatic brain injury, an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Orogenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution, with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation. Go check them out right there, Orogenics. But yeah, that's Intel. We'll see what winds up happening again. If it does come back up to the upside there, $100. I mean, you know, we'll be sitting there. We went to wrote it down for now reason. And just a small, small depends on what you're trading, but for me, about 1/3 of a unit right here so far on SpaceX. Just trying to short it underneath VWAP. VWAP's 134. You know, we already ran SpaceX to the long. That was a really good one off of, again, a level that we liked, 131 to 132. We got that. And then, I mean, look where SpaceX bounces today off of 130. I know, get this guy to stop showing us his sticky note. There it is, 130 to 132 long. Hits multiple times. I don't think Apple got to 312, so we don't have to worry about that one. But there it is, 2 for 2 bangers. You don't need much more than that there today. And we already have Palantir is going to be the #1 stock here for me today. There was the long, and the rest is history. We got out of that just as we went off air with you guys at 11 o'clock. And now Palantir's coming back in, but we'll just work on our trade here with SpaceX. Look, I mean, I like SpaceX. I think it's had a nice little move to the high side there. But now that we're underneath VWAP, we're just kind of cruising at this 200 period moving average and really hasn't done much. So we'll wait for it. It did go about 50 cents into the money for us there at its lows, but we're waiting for a little bit more. I'm going to put a bid there now at 132. 132.50s to get out of a little bit, which would be right up here. And then if we can get something out at 132.30s, we shall do that. Yeah, Ozan, I don't think this is for you. I don't think we want to show that. There's only 3 ideas on this sticky note today, and they would have been good. The other one, of course, was Apple to the short side. But like I was saying there, I haven't traded many names today, but those are the 2 ones so far, Palantir and SpaceX. So that's it for me today, and we'll look for some more. Some halters we were almost in there earlier, but we didn't get into it. I don't know if that one's doing anything anymore.
Oh shoot, what's it called again? It was,
I don't know what it was.
I wanted to call it LVMH.
It was LZMH.
So that, it must have been close to that.
Yeah, LZMH right there. Yeah, $1.17. not doing a whole heck of a lot. The stop on SpaceX is
That completely
134.
died.
So I'm just going to let it run until then. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, that LZMH completely gave it up. There's some other ones that are trying to run. YJ gave it a little bit of a shot. And then, yeah, that one completely died. See, these things, when they die, they just completely die down, and then there's pretty much nothing left. AUUD was one, but then that also died. So not completely dead. I'd like to say this one is half alive. If it doesn't go all the way back, then it's certainly at least half alive in there. Intel, I don't know, it turned bullish in the afternoon. Like, it was a short back through VWAP, and then it got bullish in the afternoon. 100. I had it on my list at 100. I wasn't sitting. It is what it is. Like, you got to be at your desk and paying attention when it's gonna get there. And that was exactly when I was on my walk, so I wasn't sitting at $100 either. So if it fails under VWAP, that's a similar look to what it had this morning. It just did a topping tail there, so this looks good for the afternoon for an under VWAP short. But like everyone else or everything else, you got to be sitting there to take advantage of it. Don't really want to see SMCI again. We had it a couple times in the morning, but that completely reversed. Unless it pulls all the way back into 31-ish even, I think there's a long way to go before you get into some real support there. Like, that sucker just looks, I don't know, like false breakout on SMCI. We're saying we're looking for it to get back above VWAP. It never did. So this one could be dead for the day. DRAM we talked about already. And ooh, that's right. Yeah, 62.77. Forgot all about this day too. And it had a good day, but unfortunately, we're only bringing it up when it falls apart. DraftKings. Bit of a miss, because remember, DraftKings had a good bounce on Friday, like a really good bounce. Triple bottom on the daily chart. And then you got continuation today, but I might have just, if you saw it closely enough, might have buried the lead. Goes right to the what? The 50-period SMA on the daily, almost to the penny, and then pulls back. So not looking very good. They're still up 2%, and give it the old 3-day rule past those earnings. Still has a chance to break that 50 out, get past 25 and go. Oh, another one.
We actually mentioned DraftKings on Wednesday. I hope you guys got in there. Playing the long off of that 21 bottom. Thought it was a lot good risk to reward there on DraftKings. Hope you guys are in. Here's one that Bovin and Casey is involved with, and there's ARTW, a new name here, finally starting to go. Looks pretty good, man, because you're breaking through right now some of this past resistance areas. So looks like this 277, depending on where you guys are in at, this is going to be a level to look at right there, 277 and change right there for you guys. So ARTW, congratulations. Casey, I know what price you guys are at, but here's some of you talking about this in the chat. I think I could get involved in this name, especially if it does wind up halting. Would like to see it come back in, then bounce off of this 245, 250 area, then go for a little bit of a run. ARTW. We'll see if we can't get involved in that one if it does wind up pushing higher. I do have it up on another screen here, so if it does wind up halting, we will look at that one for sure. ARTW, not halted yet, but could possibly, this one, no. SCKT, so another big name that was with us in the open, and it just halted all over the place. And right now, another one up 449% right here. SCKT now and in the halt bands area, looking to break above that 250, get another halt going on right there. But yeah, bouncing off VWAP. So I actually think this one, if we could take out some of the highs here on SCKT, could be one. ARTW still messing around. Arts Way Manufacturing, Adara. Possible news on ARTW with volume just picking up moments ago at 2 p.m. So there's a new runner in the building. Adara's on top of it right there. Yes.
Apparently, quote, significant increase in backlog, segment backlog here, over 19 million, up from the 1.3 million reported last quarter. So this seems shockingly large. Again, over 19 million versus 1.3 million on a sequential basis. This is I guess they received some major modular building projects. So it sounds like they got one contract, and that's the reason for all this backlog. Never the best look.
Well, the revenues. I mean, I see the revenue at 7.8 million. So obviously that would be pretty significant if the backlog is 2.5 times their annual revenue.
Yeah, it seems like
But it's a small company. Like their earnings are like, I don't know, I think it was like 100,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
From what I could see, or under 100,000. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, like when you get those kinds of deals, it's like for a small cap, you really got to be able to dig in to have any sense of like how much fundamentally they're going to be able to get. It's not about that when you're trading it the day up. It's going to be the volume. That's all you care about. Now, volume and volatility, and it just doubled in volume. So the volume is actually picking up. I was trying to find where is the Halt band?
I don't know. What's up, Casey? Yeah, I know. Time to get excited.
337.
About trading small caps again. Shout out to you, Casey. Hopefully we can join that realm. We had a couple good small cap trades last week. I don't want to jinx it, but let's just continue to watch it now as it's starting to break a little higher. So there it goes now. Shout out to Bub and everybody that's in on this one as well. But there it goes, man. 311, 310, 313. I mean, looks like it was smooth sailing. Like I never understand where these names should be halting because they're definitely not at levels I'm thinking. But we have the limit up, limit down schedule going through. So that new high right there looks like we're testing it right now. $3.20. So we'll get ready to see what goes boom in the night. So looks like this ARTW, you guys were on that one right away, and it is starting to go higher. So that's a nice little talk about the deal there and what this means for artworks as that's starting to go a little bit higher. Just on that DKNG, and we can rewind it again. Like we had, I don't know if it was Steve or what, we had Raider Trader on Thursday for sure. And I was mentioning this about their quarter, right? I really like this candle that happened right there. We were talking about whatever day this was, August the 6th. There, I guess it was Thursday because Friday would have been the 7th. Right there, that I liked this long against, because remember we have Michael Burry's in this. I liked it long against these lows. So what I was saying back that day was you go long against $20. You just hope that it doesn't open underneath 20, and if it opens up underneath 20, then okay, you try to get out with as minimum damage. But there it goes, man, getting long at 21, $22, already up to 24. So you're already 1-to-1. So if you did take any of that advice, might be time right now to think about getting out. And I even looked at Target in a minute. Okay, good. Thank God.
Awesome.
All right, we've almost got a double up in Target in the account now. So this has been an absolute runner, man. Target continues to leave Walmart in its past, but that's just been a huge move for Target. And I was thinking about getting out of what we have left and putting some into Walmart because Walmart has had nothing obviously like this. And there goes Target right now, absolutely going. If anybody in the chat may or may not know why that's happening, but we've got another name right here. SpaceX. All right, I'm going to take out, it's not that it's moving that much. I'm going to take a piece here in the early 60s. There we get a 63. We just crossed out to get out a little bit of that. It's only 20 cents in the money, but we've been waiting for this to happen. So,
Sean.
yeah, thank you, President Trump. But we are waiting. Okay, here it comes. We are bidding. I'm bidding 52s there. It just bounced off me. So hopefully a little bit of a move down. We'll be able to get these 52s right now. So SpaceX doing its own thing. See if we get a bid down there at 50. Hopefully we do. We just took a bid low 60s. So right now 30 cents in, and we're trying to get a little bit going on this one right now. And it's ARTW still at $3.
Just one note: we had to get it unblocked. It's
blocked. Okay.
Its volume was so low normally that it's blocked in the system.
Oh, good. Okay.
We actually discussed this on Friday, but at Real Trading, if a stock is so regularly illiquid, equity traders have like tons of buying power, and so if the volume is so small, they don't want people to be able to take ridiculous positions they can't get out of, that kind of a thing. But it's done enough volume, so I just put the ticket in. It should be blocked. It doesn't take them very long. I don't know what else they're doing back there, so it should get unblocked today. And then you can pay for locates and you can trade it. But right now, orders are rejecting. So if it goes to the halt band, hopefully it doesn't do so for another 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or whenever it is that we're able to get that
there
one
goes Tesla.
Locked and loaded. Tesla?
Tesla's going, SpaceX is going right now. We just took 50 cents on SpaceX right here. And yeah, I just saw a little bit of talk there on the chat about Tesla. It's not going down that much, a little bit. I mean, whatever, it's a good move. It's 40 cents there, 60 cents in the last 5 minutes. So very similar to, oh no, are we doing it again? SpaceX just went into the 30s and took a little bit of a dive there. Let's just wait to see what SpaceX wants to do. I was bidding, oh no, I was not bidding. I'm bidding 130.25. I'm gonna be bidding 132.25, my guy. All right, so there it is. We'll put a bid there. 5 more cents and we'll get that fill on the downside, but glad to have brought you guys a little bit of SpaceX action there. Long early on SPCX as we wrote it down. The 130 long was again, sometimes going to the gym has its downsides, but right into their 130. But we'll see. Here it comes right back in. We'll play the short when we get back from that spot. And, underneath the 200, underneath VWAP, we just favor the short. Very, very simple trading for me over here right now. But that's what I'm doing. Just going to wait. Remember, our stop is going to be 134, but I do want to take out little pieces. So I've only taken out 5% so far. Maybe if we do, we'll take another 5% here if we can get that's 25s. And then trying to hold the majority of this because we do know that we are going to average up. We are going to average up if it does come back in. So there's SpaceX right there, 70 cents since we sat down.
Yeah, good look there. By the way, SpaceX was doing some testing on SpaceX, but in Toronto, because I wanted to see what happens if you take some breaks. Most of it was I wanted to get a feel for the fills in Toronto, but it's tradable. But what I would suggest is you do not take breakout trades and be careful with the spread on SpaceX in the Toronto. But overall, it doesn't really make a difference. I just had a stop in TO so that every single time it broke a low, I'm taking fills in Toronto to see slippage, essentially. But it just broke this low in here. We've taken every single flat bottom break that's been available. The easiest way to think about it is if you multiply by 6, then you get, like the math is almost exact. So effectively 22 is 132, almost exactly. It's not precise, but it's close enough that you get the gist of it. So.
The good thing is the spread is way better in Toronto, as you were saying. So you got to. Well, that's actually really good.
So what's interesting is you can get regular fills. It's on the breaks of highs and lows that it becomes. That was the only time that it was a little bit mucky because I was kind of punching in every time it would break a low in here, and you would get slipped a little bit more than I think you'd want. But still seems pretty tradable. Those, of course, are CDRs for anyone that doesn't know what a CDR is. It's the same thing as an ADR. It's just not China. It's Canada, and which is what I'm invested in, by the way. We all own CDRs. I'm pretty sure everybody owns CDRs. Like just for exposure, you have basically everything out there that you can trade. If it's a large American stock, then you got a CDR for it. But not all of them do volume. SpaceX, of course, is doing more volume than just about anything else out there in the market. So I had actually been long the CDR.
Ooh, yeah. This is real nice, man. This is.
Hit the bid.
Let's go, man. There's SpaceX right now. We're in the club again, Neil. It's $1 club right there for the short. There goes SpaceX. Nice move down again. And we just put this on right when we came back to you with you guys at 1:33. That's at 2 p.m. There it is. We just got 131.70s right there on SpaceX. So good little trading happening over there on SPCX, Neil over there in Toronto. So that's good. Yeah, ARTW, there it goes, guys. Yeah, we hopefully we'll be able to trade this soon. But we didn't realize.
There's no set timeline.
It's open. We can trade it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so this is now tradable for your boys. So, we could potentially get on this one. ARTW right now up to 340, up to 350. Congratulations, everybody that's out there. Spin that hot dog cannon right there. Watch out for those glizzies hitting you in the face right there. But it's ARTW for the win. So it's up to Yong in there in the chat. What's up to everybody that is hitting this name to the long side. ARTW. I mean, we saw it. We could have done that. I mean, look. We are obviously doing quite well on SpaceX. So we'll just stick with, this trade for now, but definitely watching. I have ARC. Here's another level 2. I have another level 2 right here opened up for ARTW. So I'm looking at it on other screens. But for right now, man, this is SpaceX time and ARTW time, as that's doing a whole bunch of volume right now. ARTW coming through again. So nice move higher. And we already zoomed out. We're getting into levels where it probably should stop. But that contract that they received was quite large.
It's pretty big.
Maybe it just continues to go around and around. We're out of now 40% of SpaceX because it did give us that dollar. That was roughly the risk that we were taking. We talked about getting out at 34s. So that would actually be changing now, 33.70. So, good couple outs there. We got a good one right into that level. We're still waiting for 131. Let's see SpaceX. If it wants to throw up all over itself, that might be okay.
Yeah, worth noting, ARTW it's free. It's essentially free to short.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's brand new. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was less than 1/2 of 1 cent for. Oh, that's not even right. It's not 1/2. It's 1/2 of a tenth of a cent. I thought it was half. That's ridiculous. It's essentially free. Just know that whenever a stock is free for locates, that means day traders can pretty much, without a cost barrier, be trying to short this stock. Or at least the ones that have the availability, which can give it a little bit more juice. So that one could get a little bit nasty and wild. I'm not, look, if it fails VWAP, that's one thing, but whatever. Like that's the kind of thing you want to stay very far away from, right? If DRAM bounces off VWAP, I'm going to take another leg there. You mentioned Tesla was going. Looking for what is breaking the lows here? No, Tesla's not breaking the lows. I think it's just Nvidia at the LOD with the NASDAQ. Nope, it's not even at the low of the day. Softy, what's taking us down? Yeah, Microsoft is pressing its local bottoms here. That's the one that makes a little bit of sense as to what is dragging us around. So ARTM, I don't know if it's going to halt. It's actually pretty orderly here on this sucker. ARTW, I should say. It's at the point now, I don't know if I'd want the first halt. Like it's,
right, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
to me,
you pay for shorts. I don't know.
Well, I paid for shorts just because they're free. So why not pay for shorts? So if it were to lose VWAP, I might look at that. But in terms of a halt up, it's already traded so parabolically to the upside that chasing a halt at this point, I don't necessarily like. But if it loses VWAP, that could be something. And yes, you are correct. Humble soul, USO, like oil, it just made another jaunt up. It's now 7% up. It's just like a slow program by all day long. And I don't know if we'll get what we had on Friday. At Friday, it was right around 3 o'clock. The president came in and essentially, I mean, let's just say he tanked oil futures. It bounced right at VWAP, and then it was essentially just a VWAP short in USO. I don't think we're going to get something like that today, even if...
Up 7, oh my God.
Like, even if like the president did come out with a headline, it's a different story for this to completely give up the ghost like it did on Friday. We're just way stronger up here. Yeah, oil back through the highs. I'm going to assume nat gas was going ham this morning, probably the same thing. Yeah, that's right back at the top. Let's go to Adara, see what's making oil move.
Not much of a move here, but just keep an eye on MSOS in case we get a move later. Marijuana Herald reporting that a senior advisor to U.S. President Donald Trump has told the organization here, the Marijuana Herald, that President Trump plans to form a descheduling commission on marijuana. They expect this descheduling commission to be formed prior to the midterm elections in November. Back to you.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, Neil's in the Toronto. So Neil's in the CDR. He was just saying it hasn't been overly successful looking at it, but we're just testing it out to see. Or Neil is. Anyways,
well, I'll give you an example
like, because the spread is actually like I was actually had them both up, and I'm going to say like it actually gets very violent on both of them when it starts to break. But there's one 132, and then there's the other one SpaceX right here. On the CDR. So two different looks, but the same stock. Just a matter of trying to see if
it's the entry fill.
Yeah, I mean the entries I would just use off of here. Like for me, like I would be short wherever. I mean I would still use the same entry parts, but as spaces. But you could see that there's these gaps. So that's the problem.
It's the fill you get when a level breaks, essentially. So if I put, so I'll show you right here. Like I put a stop for this level there, and I get filled. Like this is 2207, and I get 01s. So like you're factoring that in, knowing that, okay, well, then I'm gonna try a different gateway the next time. And again, for myself, I just want to see what happened. When we broke the low here, like I'm getting slipped more, so I'll try a different gateway again and then see which one is gonna work. It just comes down to like testing things out. All right, ARTW is doing a bit of a pullback. We can talk more about that later.
No one really cares.
ARTW. It was because Joe brought it up. Okay, just
no, people in the chat were wondering about your price. That's why.
Yeah, because most people should be able to.
Most people would have no idea, dude.
Or you can't quote it.
Yeah, most people don't know there's CDRs out there.
Yeah, so anyways, ARTW is bouncing off the volume-weighted average price. It's if it loses VWAP that I was talking about potentially shorting it. It has to be under the volume-weighted average price, or I want absolutely no part of it. It's too big of a deal.
Here, how about this as a test? Where is your out on that SpaceX short?
Well, I haven't thrown a stop yet.
Okay, because I just wanted to see where it's going to be, because right now you're short. So here's what it looks like. Short at 2205. Is that what? No, 2201. So just wanted to see what because you're mentioning the slippage. So I just wanted to see what the slippage looks like when or if, I don't know if you're.
Well, I'm not going to use a stop order. I want to use a punch on this one. Because
Okay.
the other thing I'm
So you
doing.
don't really have an idea. I just wanted to see what it would be like.
It's this way.
20, so would it be what price?
2209.
2209.
So I'll show you what the level 2 looks like. Again, because you're the one bringing it up. If you look at the level 2, a lot of what you're going to see here is quote stuffing. So what you try to do is look for like TSX book to be effectively like you can see all the different gateways, but it's when the TSX book tightens up and then comes on the bid at a particular price, that's when I want to punch out. Because that'll show you that if I see, like, say, CIBC or TD Bank or whatever it might be, then I know there's a real buyer up there and it's actually trading above that level. So when that shows up at 10s, I want to try to punch. When you set your stop order, any random gateway can get you in. And there are some opportunities on arbitrage, but they typically happen.
Yeah, those would be scuba.
At the open, there's some opportunities.
Because I think about switching over, because I think the slippage is a lot less here than it is here. That's why I want to watch, because sometimes, like, if I get out at 130, 250 break, like sometimes I'll get 60s or 70s or 80s, right? And so I just got to see what that looks like. So I'm going to try to also keep it up a little bit. But we did cover more SpaceX down there. So we actually have half left now of our SPCX trade, because it went more than that dollar in the money for us. So, we want to make sure we took out the profits because of where our stop is located right there. So, yeah, thank you, Bovin. Very, very kind words there. And again, congratulations on your ARTW there, trading for yourself there. That was huge. And I could have, honestly, should have just punched in. Like, the strategy that I have, because I think we were 2 for 2 or 3 for 3 last week, and that is just waiting for that halt to come into play and making sure it's at key levels when it does wind up halting. So yeah, that was part of it. So for me today, just 2 symbols. There was some talk there on the chat about the symbols that we're trading today, and like I said, if you tag any of us, Joe, Neil, Sharif, anybody, Adair, whatever, we'll tell you what we're trading today and how that's been working out for us. And so it's just Palantir and SpaceX only for me. But I was looking also, this DRAM is going to be somewhat interesting, I feel like, into today. With the market being relatively flat, this is not doing anything. So I'm like, for me, no, it's a pass right now, but I'm always looking to see if we break out through these levels and then get a downside carry for the rest of the afternoon. So we can wait to see if DRAM gets to 49.75. We're not a whole hell of a far away spot from that right now. So if we can get back in, remember, it is an ETF, so it's going to trade. It's not like as aggressive as me looking at a Micron or an SNDK. Maybe we can look over at a Micron. All right, so $878. You want to talk about a spread and have a problem punching in and out. Micron might be that exact case as well. Oh, that was good. Okay, nothing. We just got a 132. Okay, good. I thought it was 131. I was like, that doesn't happen. Too much for SpaceX. 71 cents. Let's go on that one. Props up to that. But yeah, DRAM's another one. SNDK off of earnings last week. Did have its moves up and down off that earnings call, but still it's kind of wound up right in the middle again. So we'll have to wait to see where this one winds up settling. Its low of 980, still kind of stuck in the middle of those trades. What are we, up 3.5% today? Like, this just looks like such a good short right here, right? But still over VWAP, so it's not that great in that indication, but it would have been fine to test it over here. Testing against some of these. Now, you might have got wicked out there on SNDK. Maybe there's an ETF or something that you could trade that's a little less, because we just talked about slippage right there. And that, my friend, is slippage right there. 152 to 1252 to 1253. So $1 in between there gives you a little bit of worrisome action there. ZTG just halted. Okay. A relatively new one here, ZTG, 1.35 million. That might be part of the story there as well, ZTG. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening on.
So let's hold it down.
Yeah, it's halted down. So not really too much. And then just to look at RTW again, Artsway, again, a big contract they just got, increasing their sort of like more than, triple their market cap or something? ARTW, nice move up, and just got to bounce off VWAP. So maybe there is something to this. Maybe we don't need to just wait for it to halt. Just try to play all this off. Unbelievable that USO is up 7%. I think maybe that might be the trade here this afternoon.
Maybe if any of these runners
still going.
had been actual energy names, that would be a different story. But
maybe Battle's running.
Well, the thing about Battle is I think it's like it's dead or something. It's up 10%, don't get me wrong, but it's like not even moving. Like, what's the deal? This used to be the go-to squeeze play. There was a couple of other ones. VIVK was another good one. Vivacor, whatever the heck you call this thing. That was at least a little bit interesting, but that gave up everything. Like, USO is continuing. Well, this spike this morning, like you would expect it to. I believe they're more in the refining side, and then completely gave up the move on VIVK. This is just all about USO, and I can't seem to find a small capper that wants to play along with it. Oh, what you got there?
Well, I just should have someone in the chat. I'm going to post it out on Twitter because you are 100% right. Should have listened to my kid. Should have listened, nice spelling, to my kid about BSP, bending spoons, man. This was another one. There, let's autocorrect that. About bending spoon. Wow, what an amazing move here for bending spoons. And we'll say thank you. Next time, look into it, my guy, right there on BSP. So nice upside. I guess, Adair, this probably got upgraded. Here's bending spoons. Like when I told my kid, 24-year-old there, that, wow, bending spoons just IPO'd. I have no idea what bending spoons is. And he's like, oh my God, they're Italian, first of all, so you should know what's going on. And second of all, here it is, this guy right here. Gave me all the information on bending spoons and said that it's a very hard place to get into. All the engineers and whatnot, he graduated engineering as well, looking to get into BSP. And yeah, wow, there goes bending spoons. One of the most successful IPOs really of all time, considering it opened in July, and this is where it is right now, a month, about 25 days later, right there, upside without really a pullback. I mean, it's first day, fine, whatever, man. It just went hard on the first day. Pulls back, gives you that exact entry, never really puts you out of the money, right? And then there goes bending spoons. So, wow, I wish I would have bended back time and been able to get some of that back down into here. $31, $32. Shout out to Michael J. Fox right there. Okay, so my question is, Neil, on that SpaceX trade, what price did you get?
So see, the slippage was crazy, and this is exactly why I'm testing it out. It was all the way to 13 on a break here. Nines, yeah, so 10. See, that's so when you, so this is sort of the thing. I think most of the alpha, and this is really just, I don't know if you're real trading. A lot of the best opportunities I found have been if you can catch it at the open when there might be a little bit of a, not lag's the wrong word, but some arbitrage opportunity. But the problem is if you're trying to get the break, like there's more investments, I think. But again, like I was like, I'm going to trade it today, and I'm just going to try out fills. And I tried 4 separate gateways on 4 separate punches. And the best one, oddly enough, was the most expensive to be able to get a fill. I was able to get an Omega on one of them, which again is just the Toronto gateway, and that gave the best fill. But the primary gateway, you're lagging, and then you're crossing into a spread that's just not good enough. So anyways, it was worth a shot, but it was something I wanted to do, and we left it up there to be able to show it. But I don't think I'll be trying to trade the CDR too much. There's plenty of other ones out there, but what you want to find are ones where you're going to get fills which are as good, if not better. And the only time I saw that was at the open. So the only thing we'll be in is DRAM, but ARTW is starting to give it up a little bit, Art's way. So it's under VWAP now, but only barely. I like the VWAP fade better if it halts down. I think that's a better opportunity, but this one loses VWAP under here. It'll be worth a shot for the short. And again, it's positive news, but you've got to be careful when you talk about, $19 million worth of the backlog. If you start throwing those numbers out there, you don't really know how much the company is going to get. So you can't worry about the fundamentals. Unless you happen to be an expert on the small capper, the chances that you'll be able to suss out any kind of advantage fundamentally is almost zero. So I play simple things like, does it hold VWAP or not? If it halts underneath VWAP, that to me is a great short, but the stock hasn't halted once. I don't even think it's going to halt.
Yeah, I don't know why it hasn't halted. It seems like I guess it has to move properly to halt.
Well, one of the moves looked like a halt.
What was it?
It moved 2, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, what's up? Let's go, people in the chat here, see what you guys are talking about. Just real quickly, whether or not you're on TikTok or YouTube, you can throw up whatever chat you want over there. Andre it's Andre over there. All right, you're long DRAM into the close. There is no spoon. What's up? Okay, I just want to say, yeah, Amazon. That's what I was looking for. So KUCZ talking there about Amazon head and shoulders. And here's everybody in the chat. I want to say welcome to everybody that's here, whether or not you're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Live, something called Twitch, wherever you're at. What's up? Hope you guys are doing well. Google, what's up to Grunfeld? Yeah, Google. I mean, right now we can go look at Google. Old Wise Trader says, what's up to Canada? Yeah, we say shout out to Canada as well. Neil is short DRAM. Yep. Hi, Sean and Neil. What's up, Andrew? What's up to Virginia Trades? Monarch is here as well. What does Amazon do every time? It can never hold. That might be a good look over there. B. Cameron, hope you guys are doing well as well. Yeah, okay, so just quickly here on the SpaceX trade. So yeah, we do have the short right now in SpaceX. It's right back to the price that we're short at. I'm already out of half. It should be about a 1-to-1 if it winds up running our spot, but I'm still waiting for a little bit short into VWAP up here at 134. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So we could just cover now. I was trying to play really off this 200 period. Thought that we could make a downside move here. So I don't want to lead people down the wrong path. Like I said, I've only traded 2 names here today. So trying to be very, very specific in what I'm doing. But yeah, 133 to 132, like it doesn't look as juicy anymore. And I was almost thinking about even exiting right there, 133.20, save a little bit of face on this one, and then get back in. It'll still be a positive. I mean, we can't lose. Like even if we get run, it'll be a flat trade. But let's put our stop right there. So let's just change this live, because now that we're over the 200 period moving average right there, we do want to stop out if we have to. So, and we have to if the market tells us. 133.30s is this wick that goes all the way back to 1205. So just in case you're wondering, we always get questions about what the strategies are. And this is mine, man. Pretty easy. Just play support and resistance. Get that feeling going on there. I saw Spider-Man had a huge weekend, so we've got our spidey senses going all the time. 133. I just said 32, so let's go to 36. Adair, how are you doing? Okay, good. Not too bad. I'm alive as well. 133.36. Let's go a stop order right there on that one and give ourselves those out. So about a 50 cent worth or so hit on that one, giving us about flat or so on the, that's where Adair was going. Okay.
I thought
yeah, Adair just walked by us, but she is going from her desk, from the window to the wall in a very exciting segment that lets us all get a little visual on whatever the topic is. So let's go today, find out. Make sure to find Adair, first of all, at TTVL. So go to Trader TV Research. You could go get that immediately on Twitter. Go find out all of these infographics, and she'll tell you if this one's posted or not. But let's go find out what it's about with Adair right now.
This one was actually posted going back to early May, probably want to say May 12th, 2026. This is the Q1 visual for Hims and Hers, which posts Q2 tonight. So we'll get into that in a second. In the meantime, today's segment of To the Window, to the Wall, where we pull up an infographic window and we talk about it on the wall. It's going to be about, you guessed it, Hims and Hers. Now, HIMS, we know there's been some legal woes of various states have settled here with specifically Novo Nordisk for the most part. But either way, we're now halfway done this company's fiscal year. They're reporting Q2 earnings tonight. I already have the Q2 earnings preview for Hims and Hers I posted earlier today, and it's linked to this visual. So if you want to see this visual, go back to around 10:50 a.m. when I posted the earnings preview. It's quote tweeted here. Now, what this visual shows here, and I'm going to make another one after we get these earnings tomorrow, it shows the earnings here for the U.S. segment and the rest of the world segment, and then growth for both. Now, this is fascinating to me, and that's the reason I chose to look at this visual, not some of the other visuals for earnings we have tonight. U.S. revenue, $529.9 million, basically $530 million, well above the rest of world revenue segment here at $78.2 million. But if you look at the year-over-year growth, U.S. revenue, again, well over 75% of the company's revenue. It's down 8% year over year, but this teeny tiny little pie, again, less than a quarter of the company's revenue, that's up almost 1,000% year over year. So you're getting massive growth in by far the company's smaller segment, but actually declines on a year over year basis for revenue for the vast majority of their revenue. Now, overall here we have a total of 4% growth, but that's being entirely carried by that tiny little pie slice of rest of world revenue. So I think that is pretty significant. We'll have to wait and see here what I'd be looking for Hims and Hers tonight when they post earnings, ETA 4:05 p.m. I would be expecting CEO Andrew Judham and company to be giving us a better look here at U.S. revenue. This is the largest segment of the company's revenue. It's the vast majority. And so this segment, hopefully, will be showing some more growth, but we'll have to find out again at 4:05 p.m. I will have that earnings preview. It's already posted. It'll be reposted a couple of minutes before the earnings report. And expect a version of this, but for Q2 2026 tomorrow after the earnings. In the meantime, this is today's segment of To the Window, to the Wall. We're going to send you back over to the desk. And as Sean said, you can find this and many, many, many other infographics on X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Thanks, Adair. Hims is trying, but it's been failing to do much of anything getting off to 50 here. If you like the Golden Cross, it's at least been up since then. I mean, that's worth it. I'm much more of a, if it flashes the Golden Cross or the Death Cross, then it can give more juice to a reversal in the other direction. But it's been bouncing since then. So we'll see how the earnings go. Obviously, that'll be a big deal. Looks like ARTW just hit $4.
$4.
Yeah, $4 and then came back. maybe not that much. Came back a little bit here. Every time I try to drag this over so you guys can see, there we go. You hit that $4, starting to pull back. It was able to hold on to VWAP. Before I get to silver, someone was asking DRAM. Pretty simple. This is the afternoon resistance on DRAM, and then the close was right in here, about that 50.5 zone. It popped, failed, took the VWAP short, and then when it put in the lower high, respecting the prior close resistance, short into VWAP. I don't want to add unless it's lower, so I'd like it to break the volume weighted average price and then try to be a short underneath 50. Otherwise, we got our stop right at this prior hump here, like 29 or so. But it was silver and gold that are moving the most right now. This is SLV and accelerating, 3% up, gold, and these are both breaking out, by the way. Gold, GLD here, 0.8, and also breaking out. But it is worth mentioning. See that? You know it's in a bear market. You know you're in a bear market when it comes to Bitcoin, when it is at the lows, and absolutely dying when there is supposedly supposed to be some strength. August plays Adara drip better than ever. Time for the suits to go.
Yeah, I like that golf
Thank you
shirt.
for supporting the show, and thank you for the super chat. I liked today's outfit. I thought that I looked pretty spiffy when I was against the wall, but also I was so cold today I got goosebumps without a suit jacket. So the suits will make a return. They're just taking a temporary hiatus. You know, they're like on maternity leave, but that was a bad analogy.
Yeah, bad analogy.
The good thing is it's not actually that cold in here.
No, it's nice in here now that we've got
yeah.
Sharif and we figured out Sharif and Randy's little plan there.
Well, Randy's not here.
So that's nice. Yeah, they were turning the temperatures up and not telling anybody that they were doing it. So,
down.
Yeah, down. Yeah, turn it down. Make it cooler in there right now. But yeah, this shirt of mine is over 10 years old. I was actually looking at it today. There's pictures of me in this shirt when I was holding my kids as little babies, and so I got to get rid of this one ASAP. But yeah, shout out to Adara, looking spiffy there today. We like that, and yeah, more casual as a trader, right? I think that's what you're looking to do. There's ZTG, 1.5 million and halting all over the place right there, but not doing any volume. So you're going to have to wait for ZTG. Just one halt there on the open, and we brought that to you. We'll wait to see if there is any more of a halt coming in. Someone said Google was trying to do something, and yeah, there it goes right now for Google. So nice move higher for GOOGL, potentially moving through. Like, I don't know what that story was all about, but we do have the futures trying to go bump in the night a little bit. So there goes Google taking out VWAP. I like that trade. That would have been something to, execute in for sure. Thank you for ever mentioning that, because this Google trade trying to break through here makes a little bit of sense for sure. Trying to break through VWAP now for the first time, basically all day. I mean, we did it. Obviously, we did it here, there, and then there again. But halt, back down. There's the final move higher, as the final boss for that was VWAP. So nice move there, back into the downside right now. I'm watching that Unreal on Netflix, which is WWE. That's one of the best shows on Netflix right now. Unreal. Okay, so I may think about Google's 0.29. I may think about shorting this, but that seems a little silly. Let me go back to Amazon quickly to see what that's doing, just to see if there is going to be any love. Yeah, see, this is much. Like, if there's any sort of a pop there in Amazon, that would have been much better. Although Amazon's up more than Google today, you're underneath VWAP. You're starting to turn down. The 200 periods starting to turn down here as well. Amazon looking much sicker than the rest of them right now. We stayed with our sort of look on SpaceX. We could try a 133. Let's go 133. Let's go 133.25s. Right, because remember where our stop is going to be that's too soon. Our stop was a 133.35 break. So we actually wanted to go back into this level right there on SpaceX. So maybe let's try what is that top? That's still the same, 133.20. Or let's go to 133.15. Just kind of randomly pick one out there. 133.15. We'll see if we can sort of double up our position there and then take a 20-cent hit on the last couple pieces if it does break above there. SpaceX will be, number one stock Palantir, number two stock SpaceX. I've only traded two names, so that's easy with nothing on the L side yet, but maybe it might come out pretty soon. Who knows? That ARTW is just doing 370. It's not really doing a whole heck of a lot. Microsoft was super hot early, got to 514, and I actually made the mistake of looking at the long-term account and was really loving life there earlier as it went up to 514. But again, not the end of the world. It's only pulled back a little bit, but was up about 2.5%. So giving back half of that now, back up to 505. Still nicely positive there for Microsoft. And if my guy Apple can finally start to get going here, then maybe we have something. Yeah, okay. This is a good one too. Next trade, I already know what my next trade is going to be. Apple, how about 307.50? So needs to get there, but this break long on Apple right there, above VWAP. Maybe we can even take a VWAP break, but the problem is these VWAP breaks have been false every time. So we need to be careful and try to break some of these day highs there on Apple. I like this trade, 307.50. Let's put that trigger in. Maybe it hits at some point. What's up, Adara?
What's up is President Trump is set to speak. Now, the reason I didn't mention this earlier is because on his calendar it says it's a closed press event, but I guess they've decided to open the press. He's setting an executive order at 2:45 p.m. I would say keep an eye on some of these pharma names. I read something he was going to be signing an executive order today related to something in medicine, I think either vaccines or autism. So keep an eye on this pharma space. Again, this is kind of off the dome here, but I did read it earlier. He was going to be sending an executive order to that effect today. So I would keep an eye here on biotech names. Just be aware. We're also already getting comments from Fed's Hammock. She wasn't supposed to start speaking until 3. She's already speaking. She's saying the current rate is not meaningfully restricting the economy. And she says there's no intention to prejudge the number of rate increases or the final level of the interest rate. Now, significant because, again, Fed's Hammock was actually one of the members who dissented from the Fed's decision to hold rates in July. She wanted to hike. Back to you.
No, there you go. That's something we know. We kind of knew. Looks like that socket is halted to the upside. I mean, it's a volatility halt and should open in less than 1 minute. Doesn't really take much volatility to seemingly halt this one, as it barely moved. Like the 3-minute candle is 12 cents, and then the one before that was 7 cents, but it was a penny stock before, so my guess is it's just halting. Yeah, it's halting on any kind of like a 10% move, which is going to be wild, as cheap as it is. Seems like the bands are going to be useless here because they'll just keep hitting it over and over. It's tapping 210, which is pretty flat. ARTW is still doing a heck of a lot of nothing, and you're getting a drawback in silver here. So SLV and probably gold starting to pull back. I'd look at the prior high at 59 to look for some kind of a continuation play. So that's SLV. GLD also in the midst of a pullback, but I got silver up, and that'll be the one that I'm watching. So continuation would be just a bounce in front of the 59 level. We didn't actually look at the daily chart. We've talked about silver and gold breaking out like a million times off of the lows, consolidating on the bottom just like Bitcoin did, and guess which one is bouncing? It's not Bitcoin. So sorry about that. What can you do? But also Friday's high is at 59. So pulling back anything in front of the 59, like anywhere 01 to 05, will be a good little dip buy spot for SLV. See if we can't take that one into said close.
Yeah, playing baseball.
Right
Yeah,
into
playing
the net.
baseball. No, they're cleaning up. I was just going to say, I could be no more proud of my wife and my daughter. I mean, this is everybody leaving. This is like a top. So Gia's been ranked in Ontario, so I'm very proud of that. Actually in Canada. But the thing is that this is her cleaning up the pucks. This is the puck bin, and this is her cleaning up the pucks as everybody else is jamming, right? But so that's the whole thing. So I'm very, very proud of her for doing that. So I just wanted to show she's at hockey all week, and Joe would be proud of this one. I don't have the Tesla with me today because it's no longer mine now that the wife loves full self-drive. So she's taking that on the highway today, full self-drive, of course, all the way to where they are, and it should be a good one. As long as I think the rain's going to hold. I was looking, the rain may hold out, as I think you said you have a game or practice.
Yeah, no, it's a game tonight.
Yeah, we have a game tonight as well. Let's go find out who's. Okay, right here, Trader Information Portal, right here. Who got that money from Friday or not? May or may not be on here. Amex, NASDAQ, New York, 32.5. That's a ching-ching kind of a day, dropping down some cash there. Whoever made 32.5 there on Friday, good day. And these are the markets that were traded here at Real Trading. We sit on a prop floor, of course. So that's Real Trading. Amex. There's someone in Canada who always say, what's up to that? This person in Turkey must be staying longer, or they had a problem with their hair. But right there, Turkey right now has been good. So someone's figured something out in the Turkish market. I say congratulations to you on that one, whoever you are figuring out Turkish markets. I think that's very important. We have over 60 live markets here at Real Trading. Let's go check it out. Amex Turkey, Canada, Amex, NASDAQ. And then Neil had a good point last time. Let's see, maybe let's start here. So there's Hong Kong futures. These are the top traders. You can see that's pretty sparse, right? The most traders will trade over in North American markets, regardless of even where they're located. But Vienna, Dublin, the CSE, which is nice right here in Canada and right here in Toronto. Been to their head offices right there. It's funny because I went there and Richard Carlton, the president of the CSE, I was in his office and he was telling me that Megatron, Calvin Johnson, was sitting in the exact same seat that I was just a few weeks later, or earlier. I was like, I need to be there earlier then. Copenhagen, Chicago CME, Hong Kong, OTC markets there as well for the pink sheets. Blue Ocean, relatively calm waters. $2,000 there. There's the Turkish exchange, Amex and NASDAQ. So that's who's got the money there here at Real Trading. So just a little look at the different markets and never shy away from any of the markets or any of the ideas that you may have trading either, right? Because just because we're looking, or I'm looking primarily, Neil traded 9 or 10 symbols, so there's more look over there than me, but I'm just trading only 2 names. But look at all, there's different ETFs you could trade. We talked about XBI, we talked about IBB, XLV for healthcare, health biotechs. Look at Eli Lilly today. Oh yeah, that's a good one, man. I really love, that's probably why the portfolio was bumping this morning. We really like some Eli Lilly. I didn't even realize it was up that high there today. AbbVie down. J&J, a recent buy of mine as well in that contest and in the own portfolio. That's going. This side, not so hot. Let's go find out where all the money is being made. We talked a little bit about this name here, Retail Trade today. Amazon, I got to find out what's underneath targets, you know what, because that is really blasting these days, up to 150. Good job there. eBay, of course, I think Neil talked about this earlier. Here's the news right here. GameStop considered tying up with eBay, but that may not be happening. I don't think it ever was. GameStop
never seemed realistic.
I know, what was it? It's on the website, right? That was the quote there about how to get that done is on the website. We did talk there about Oracle a little bit, but it was Netflix I just saw. There it is, right there that Neil had mentioned, maybe back to life. And you know what's back to life right now? And I'm going to double check the old portfolio, how much we've got left in it, because it's time to sell some Uber. Uber, nice move higher right there. I'll sell this thing for a loss. I don't think it is a loss. I'm going to check. I could check. Maybe I'll check right with you guys right here live what I'm in on that right now. But back up to the 200 period moving average, I do not like the stock as much as I used to. So I think this is a good exit liquidity spot right now for me on some Uber. And, I didn't love getting out of AMD when I did. I didn't love getting out of Marvell when we did, but both those stocks have really retraced back down quite nicely. So I think about I love Marvell. We're able to get some out up here near 330. It dropped back down. Obviously, I didn't buy anything down there, but right into here, I don't mind getting some Uber out and getting into some more Marvell. Into companies that I like a little bit better than others. And for me, I don't know about what your opinion is, but I can't really wrap my head around staying into Uber for 2
The problem with it is it can't. There's no way it can't be out of the money for you, because the whole idea is I know this is true for me. It's part of the reason that I'm in it. It went into the S&P. I don't know, somewhere. It was in December.
I think so.
It was in December of 2023. So it was somewhere in and around here. And look where it is now. The last time I sold Uber was selling the news and hanging on to a piece of it when it got added to the S&P. And it's only gone up since then. And then that's the bounce level from where it got added in December of 2023. So until it loses that, the 200 period on the weekly, it's I guess it doesn't want to completely come out. And that would have been, just a couple of, not exactly 2 years ago. So it's holding on for dear life, but until it loses the 200 period on this weekly chart, or loses that support level under 60, I'll just sort of wait for it and let that trailing moving average. Because for me, I bought it going into that and then was selling for profit into the S&P 500 inclusion, then sold some more, and then it went even higher and then eventually pulled back. So it hasn't been, it's not like it stinks, it's just the opportunity cost with Uber. And really just that Tesla, I think Tesla gives you a few things. It gives you a better play for autonomous driving. Shoot, it might, and heck, Tesla might give you SpaceX at a premium too. That's the other thing you can consider as a Tesla shareholder. The off chance that if they do a merger, it's SpaceX buying Tesla and you get yourself a bit of a premium. So buying Tesla on dips gives you that. It gives you robotics. It gives you the everything company that I think the merger between them and SpaceX would be. It just seems a little bit better. for now. All right, ARTW did lose. It did lose VWAP. It didn't halt down or anything. As to why that SCKT will move 15 cents in Halt or 20 cents in Halt, this one will drop, 60 pennies, and one's a $3 stock, one's a $2 stock. You'd think they'd be in the same range. This one drops 20%, doesn't halt. The other one moves 10% and does halt. I think it's just because one of them started out as a penny stock and the other one didn't, and that's it. But it is looking like it's going to lose VWAP. This wick here was to 340, so I'm going to try VWAP and under VWAP short. If I can get it in the 20s and try to give it to the 40, just get a stop in there and see if we can't pick it. Of course, the second it does a topping tail candle, it just instantly drops down and fades through. So I'll still see if I can get those 20s in here without having to chase it too far. Let's go up to Adara. It's an interesting headline.
You may recall that I said I was pretty sure President Trump was reportedly going to be signing an executive order and something related to either vaccines or autism. It's actually both. So it's going to be vaccines and, different, vaccine priorities, including related to autism. So maybe keep an eye on the likes of Moderna, keep an eye on the likes of Pfizer. He basically said, quote, the U.S. vaccine schedule has to do with autism. I mean, if we get anything else that's market moving here, I will keep you posted. But right now, market kind of stalling. These vaccine-related names kind of stalling. If there's any more details, I will keep you all posted. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Adara. For the vaccine. We can check out some Moderna, something like that. All right, SpaceX went up. We got filled. We got stopped out there on SpaceX. So, started to get going a little bit right there at the end. So, short, good. That was a 20-cent hit there, where we actually got stopped out right there. I mean, I'm wondering if that stop out might have been it. So, let's that's too bad. And again, like I told you, I'm always finding myself chasing things, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to go to 133.50. Oops, see 113.50? Nah. See, look at that. Just stopped out there at 35, so we could have saved ourselves 50 cents. 133.51. We should just kept, that's where we were initially, and we changed it to this little high right there. This little high of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Right there, and that's where we just got stopped out. So unfortunately, that is what that is. But now it's pulling back in just a little bit. We're gonna try to get a little bit of a better price here on SpaceX, and then give it just a little bit more room. If we can get something back into the 20s, I think that would be worth it for me to give it one more go there on SPCX, because again, not really. The market is trying to figure itself out right now, and it's not doing a whole heck of a lot. mRNA there on that sort of vaccine talk there. Moderna, not much going on there as the President Trump we just mentioned there, trying to get that going through as well. No action there on Moderna. XBI has been a great ETF in their portfolio. It has made a move down, and I think a move up also. So there it was right there into the 50-period moving average, 147. Good take that would have been over the last little while, XBI. There. So we've been watching this name for quite a while. I like this, and the IBB, both biotech-based ETFs.
Oh, okay.
Influenza, vaccines, all this kind of stuff. So he's talking about all this stuff. So, just looking at vaccine-related stocks, I mean, Moderna's not doing anything. We could check out AZN, AstraZeneca, as this all gets going. That was another one there when the COVID shots were going through. AZN was a play there, as was Pfizer. So, all these names with President Trump just dancing around sort of the subject right
Pfizer
now.
Sucks.
Not much going on there at all. Oh, on Uber, I'm up 11% in the portfolio. So, could get out. But I only have 12 grand in, so it's not like it's a huge trade for me on that one. But it's not bad. We can take out the $1,000 and run away from it. But Pfizer's been hot fire recently, actually. So nice move up there for Pfizer. Again, another name that I have a little bit in there, Pfizer. So we could maybe get something in and out of that one too, as Pfizer's been on a nice little run as of late. So I think that's part of why XBI has been so good lately. That ARTW, by the way, and thanks everybody. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, get all of that going, and we will be happy to show you more of ARTW and anything else you guys are trading. Get in the chat, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we already told you this, and this is actually a statistical fact, that if you go in here, see, like this, that's why I lost on that SpaceX, because I didn't do this. If you actually hit the like, and I got to refresh this, you actually have around a 50% chance that your next, which is greater than most traders, 50% chance that your next trade will be a winner. So 4,600 of you watching, you got to hit the like button. And look, if you don't believe me, just do it. Hit the like right now and then post in there what your next trade is. And I'm telling you, man, it will be more than 50% chance. And if it is, it'll be slightly around that, that you'll have a winning trade your next one. So do it. Let me know in the chat. Tweet at me if that worked for you. There it comes to the downside. ARTW again, no halts. So I think the more experienced traders out there, as we identified, would have got out. I think this 350 was a pretty generous ride up there anyways. And then I think that these are better outs as it was climbing, right? So I think someone like Casey or Bovin or whatever, you guys are probably more likely to be out. By the way, SpaceX just went again to 133.50, so stopped out of that one. Okay, right there, yeah. So watch out for this trade again. 320 for ARTW might halt down. Wow, SpaceX turned on the rockets, man. They started going, wow, they went to 130. Oh, and then right back down. Wow, look at this. Whoosh, whoosh.
Well, that was a lift,
so this is what I'm talking about when you're talking about SpaceX in Toronto versus New York. Like this move right there in 1 minute had $1 range right there. Probably something similar probably in Toronto. It won't be $1 because it's a fifth of the thing. So that's what it is too, right? So there it is right there. 12.20. Oh no, see this one you would have only lost, I guess it's close to the same, 13 cents on that. But you know, SpaceX, for me, I'm crazy. I'll trade the same amount of shares on both of them, so it won't really matter. But yeah, SpaceX right there. There we go, stopped out when we would have been now in the money. So let's leave this away right now. We'll just say, you know what, we'll lose a little bit on that last trade, but it looks like the trade was right. But somebody either fat fingered that or got a story involved there because it is quite a big candle there for SpaceX to the upside into 134.
It's the biggest one since the open.
Yep, I'm glad that we didn't have 134 as our stop because I would have been even more mad on that little move there. Yeah, similar candle right there at the open when it made its lows right there. So yeah, both matching basically the volume of that low and that high right there. So I'm going to pass on SpaceX, right? It's been a big day. We don't need to sit here and worry about it anymore. Maybe just go back to Palantir, but I don't mean pass on it like I'm going to stop trading it. Just let's stop for right now. It's having itself a little temper tantrum right there on SpaceX. So we'll give it a little bit of a hands off there. I mean, trying to stay green and don't want to do anything too crazy here that might hinder that. The only trade that I'm waiting for, and I've talked to you about it, we're going to look for some more, is Apple 307.50. So if that one can come through and break, then you're going to see your boy in Apple on this 307.50 break. Let's see if it happens first. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, we got a small cap halter, but I don't know. This try hard holdings, very light volume, it just halted up. This is it's not Chinese. It's a Japanese company. Okay, there you go. It doesn't always have to be Chinese, but very light volume, 150,000 shares only. I don't see a story for it. The only thing I see is like the story is that it halted earlier. It was halted earlier today. This THH. If you happen to be watching it and it's you're curious, do you have a story? Okay, yeah, I can't find anything either. I hear there. Not that there needs to be, and it's giving you a tap of 440, so it's going to indicate. I mean, it's indicating it's going to open pretty significantly higher, but that's really light volume, everybody. What does look like, hey, this could be, the market's getting a bid. USO on no headline is actually giving up the ghost a little bit here. That could be interesting if it pulls all the way back into VWAP. What's Vivek doing? Looking at this one, because this was one of the energy gappers that couldn't continue. I feel like if USO were to give it up, this thing still has a sizable gap to where it was in the morning. Started at 125. That one could at least be a breakdown, but here comes ARTW. I said if it lost VWAP, we would try to take a shot at this, but it never really gave you an entry unless you want to maybe chase it down. Now it's starting to bounce. So I'm looking for this to hold under VWAP, so I'd like to see it press back into 320 to 330. And try to short it and give it to the volume weighted average price. So that's one we're going to watch. Looks like socket just halted and reopened. This stock is ridiculous. It's barely even moving, yet I keep seeing it pop up on my Halt scanner because it's not like the Halt bands aren't really like they're nonsensical is the best way to put it. Like right now it's sitting at 221 is the upper Halt band. That's 15 cents away. That's less than 10%. The Halt band less than 10% away. It was ridiculous. That doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. So I'm just going to be looking at this ARTW, see if it'll pop up enough to be able to get into a fade. DRAM is essentially like the market falling asleep. Like it won't break the stop, it won't break VWAP. So like it's holding underneath my resistance level, but I haven't really reloaded it because I don't want to reload a short that's bouncing on VWAP. I'd rather be shorting it at lower prices because it's trending down than trying to fight it above the volume weighted average price. So it's really just RW that I'm watching. Maybe USO can do something, but I thought we'd get maybe the president giving us some good news like on Friday. Because basically, you guys all saw it. Like the president essentially just gave you the short Friday afternoon. It was like, oh, when's he going to say something positive? He said something positive, and they tanked USO for 30 minutes.
There goes SpaceX, by the way, to the downside. So just stopped out of that one. But you know what? We're happy, joy. Because we just found out right there. We went back here. And if you look at this right here, maybe we can zoom in on when we talked about this one last. This was from October 6th of 25. Right there, bought some target here, right? All-time low valuation. I think there could be some activism soon. It was down 44% year to date. So that's me buying it down here at 89. So it wouldn't get the very low, right? The low is 85, on target. So we've been holding this name since October 6th of 2025. So it's not even that long, really. We're coming into October 6th right now, of course, 26. So about a year there. And as you can see what's been happening, this is when we tweeted it out. This is October right there. It did make a new low, but you can see where we're gone right now on target. So again, there it was right there. Ooh, there was 11,000 views on that one. Okay, that was nice. But anyways, there it is. Target right there, down 44%. I like the valuation there on TGT. And since that time, I just checked the account. We're up 78% right there. Oh, here we go on TGT off that long of $89. So this one's really worked out for us up there into 153. We did sell some. We talked about that live on air at 122. What a mistake that was back into here as we thought, hey, we've been holding it for a while, blah, blah, blah. Had its move up, made some moves down, and then back into here somewhere, 122 and change. Sold it thinking that maybe we had missed that high. But no siree, there goes TGT to the upside. Nice little rhyme there. Yeah, we are ringing the register. I don't know, MF Dane, if you want to ring it, you can ring it there. I'll probably just hold on to the rest. Only have 25% left. We got it at 75% live on air. Remember, we talked about that with Joe. And Target, not only is Target giving you that 78% or whatever it is return, it's also a 3% plus dividend. So you're also getting that as well, getting some passive income in your boy TGT. And another one, the other one, JP Morgan, first of all, there it is in Toronto. As we mentioned, there are CDRs in both markets there, not only in the US, but also there are ADRs in the US, CDRs. There, Alibaba is a good example. But JP Morgan also has been a really steady climb in this one at 230, just before the tariff tantrums for this. Might even be a little bit lower. It was just before the tariff tantrums, and we were all happy with it because it had its move up. Yeah, it was right here is where we bought. Yeah, so yeah, 230, 224, 225, right into here. Off this first 200 period moving average is where we got in. And we're like, oh man, like, isn't that, that was easy. And then all of a sudden it was like, nope. And it rinsed all the way down. And I was like, oh God, what am I going to do now? Because it was a bigger position there. And now it's just matured up. So again, a one with about a 3% dividend, really starting to go there. And has had a great return since its earnings, and that is many of the bank stocks, including your boy JP Morgan. Play with the best names, and you will be happy. So JP Morgan there and Target, two elite names in this space, and obviously working out to the upside, and then get that dividend as well, right? Like, I don't chase yield. I don't even really buy a stock because there's a dividend. It's just nice that when those names do have one, it's like Shreve the other day goes, wow, great news now. SanDisk now with a 15-cent dividend. I'm like, that's nice. That's the spread. So, unless you're holding on to a couple hundred shares of SNDK, even that, the 15 cents, wouldn't be that big of a deal. But SNDK there, still cooking a little bit. There's the spread of SNDK, $1 right now. But yeah.
The difference with the banks with their dividend is because it's like you get things that just go up in the long term very well and pay enough of a dividend that you basically are a constant buyer in something with an uptrend. That's what I like about banks. Mm-hmm. And that's why I love the Canadian banks. Like I could look at
they're great investments.
Like TD, it's a good investment because you can set it. You don't have to worry about dip buying because every time you get a dividend, it just goes right back into the stock. So you're just accumulating. And then the chart looks like this. You can't lose. And the best part about it is the Canadian government's going to make sure you can't lose either. For the U.S. banks, it's the same thing, and the U.S. government's going to make sure you're not going to lose that bet, and it's just the reality. For that small capper I was just mentioning, why isn't this open? Okay, so it's been 5. It's now been 10 minutes. So at this point, it could open whenever it opens. So you try hard is going to open at some point in the future. It's just not going to be a 5 or a 10-minute halt. Maybe it's 15, maybe it's 20. I think Sharif was talking about one that it just randomly sort of opened after that point. As far as my understanding, if it doesn't open after 5 or 10, it doesn't have to be 15, 20, 25. It can just open. And if you are curious as to where you can find some information on halts, just go to NASDAQtrader.com. You'll have a halt page. And what you're looking for is a trade resumption time. So this should get posted, and it'll give you an idea that it's going to be opening soon. If they haven't posted a trade resumption time, and I know it's a volatility because it says LUDP, which is a volatility trading pause. You guys can all see that. So it'll open eventually. Tap now for 48. Tasia just wants a poll. Okay, we can do a poll. We haven't done one today. But you're asking about a poll for earnings tonight. Now, first off, there's no gigantic earnings. So you want Rocket Lab, ASTS, QUBT, and HIMS. Those are all small cappers. So which earnings name are we rolling with? And remember, you're not getting any big cappers in here. You're not getting anything sexy. You're basically having to pick 2 names that have been getting beaten up ever since the SpaceX IPO tanked the entire market there. You're getting a quantum name where QUBT flat out isn't going to be making any money. My analogy for this is the revenue on these quantum names is less than what the backup catcher makes on your local baseball team, not your minor league team. It's got to be at least a major league team because it's not that bad. It's probably at least in the millions, but the backup catcher is making millions too. And then the last one you wanted, it's also reporting is HIMS. I feel like HIMS has a decent shot today. So we're going to give you 4 names that are reporting. These are all shot plays. Like none of these are tremendous fundamental plays. I actually like the one, if I had to pick one in the long term, I'd probably go with Rocket Lab because I do kind of like them. And I don't really like him because I feel like you could just get GLP by owning the best GLP. So you type in the chat which one you want with a 1 for Rocket Lab, a 2 for ASTS, a 3 for QUBT, a 4 for HIMS and hers, which of course Adara had the fantastic infographic for. That's going to probably give them, it'll probably give them a few.
Wait, sorry to interrupt. Which 4 are those?
We got Rocket Lab, ASTS, QUBT, and HIMS.
I have infographics, earnings previews on 3 of the 4 of those. The other one, QUBT, I'm going to be reposting an old graphic for now. I also have ACHR. So I have infographic info for basically everything but plug for tonight.
Ooh, Archer had news today. That was the deal. Archer was in play today with it was a Boeing story.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a Boeing this morning. That's actually more interesting than QUBT. Well, these were the 4 that got asked for, so we'll leave them up there. But I actually think Archer might be more interesting because they had a positive headline.
The one that gets the least amount.
Oh, THH opened up and it's gone.
That's worked out for us.
See, if you can find these, the problem is you need to be able to have it hit your scanner. By the time you know that it's at the halt band, you flip the stock up, try to get on the bid, you got 15 seconds. You have to be there faster somehow. That's sort of the thing, to be able to catch that halt. Like, how are you even in this thing on that halt up? Because that was free money. But you don't have a lot of time as a human trader to be able to see some, volume spike on a stock, get to the stock. It's immediately at the halt band. And you have 15 seconds to get on the bid and then even get a fill at that point, which is the trickier part, as we've seen.
For me, as far as quantum is concerned, man, I'm rolling
IBM.
with 2 names, man. IBM and Google. Those are my 2 big quantum plays. Like, and they're relatively huge in the account, considering that if I'm just holding it for quantum. But IBM more for that, and then Google more because it's Google. So I really want to buy some more Google on any dips. I'm way too diversified. I probably own like 50 different stocks in the long-term portfolio, including, like I just said, some Pfizer, some Uber, some Target, all these things. Just way too many of them, but have definitely been selling and getting into some of the indexes. My largest holding is the S&P 500. So that's my largest holding, period. The S&P 500. It's probably my largest holding by 2 or 3 fold. So that's been important that keeps on going upside. Hopefully that stays like that. All right, so yeah, I don't know, MF Dane Generous, everybody there in the chat. Like, I don't know if I'm a glutton for punishment or not here trying to get back into SpaceX. I still believe in this short. I want it to run that price to get me out. it doesn't matter how much money we've made or lost on SpaceX in the career of this name. We still want to make sure that we're putting on good trades and making sense of every single one that we do, right? Don't let your ego or anything get ahead of it. Like, losing trades are very easy to find. Like I said, 99% of the people that we've seen walk through these doors can't get a paycheck. So it's tough, right? But don't be stubborn. Stick with your guns here. I still do believe it. So I've started with 10% of a unit, and gonna wait to see if we can get something in and around VWAP, which I'm actually waiting for 133.60s. So that's pretty much right where VWAP is. VWAP is 66. So we'll get some more there, and then I'm just gonna use that top. And if we get run again, then yeah, we'll give some back and turn red on SpaceX, right? If that happens, well, that's completely fine. And what we're gonna lose, I know we talk about this all the time, it doesn't happen all the time, but ideally you want to make, on stocks that you make on, you wanna lose less than what you make. So right there, it doesn't mean, that's not a way to stay green or red. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna get aggressive on something like here on Palantir and trade this one, don't throw all your money back on maybe an idea that you're just thinking about. So right now on SpaceX, if this goes wrong, just to let you guys know, we will turn red on it, and we'll give back maybe 15% or so of what we made on Palantir. So it's still going to be a decent day, but it will turn us into the red. The others are on that stock. Okay, Apple, it almost broke, and don't tell me we found another level right there. Like, that was 50s is where we were going long. It went to 46 and stopped. So a pullback into VWAP now, I think, gets me long. So if we could pull back into 307 and use something like this, then I think that would be something that I want to look at. And so there it is. I just wanted to zoom in to show you. So that was 50. That's why we liked it. I showed you those levels back there. So we like that 50 level. But now, you've really held this 200 period moving average there. Sorry, this is the 50 period. And if we can come back into 307, as I just said, let's see if it wants to hold it again, because testing the highs, could have ran out of some gas, came back in. We'll see if the sellers can win. If not, expecting a bounce from that as well. 307.50 incoming, hopefully, for Apple. And then we'll trigger in on that one. And then we'll just give it the same kind of ways, right? We'll give it back to VWAP probably. So I think this is worth 70 or 80 cents, and maybe we get a runner into the close. It's already 317 though, so that's what we're going to try
close to there
to trade now. Yeah, there goes SpaceX. So, we're out 50 cents now. We have a quarter of 1 unit right now on SpaceX. So let's go see what ends up happening here on SPCX.
Yeah, and sorry for those in the try hard. It didn't try hard enough to hold a bid. It's halted down, by the way. But we missed the first topping tail in ARTW. The second topping tail came in here at 310. There was a continuation on this candle, but when this candle opened up underneath, the break of this low was at 305, so we got 04s. The stop is going to be the prior bar at like 13. 290 first support, and then from there, there's really nothing. Like, it's just a gap. So if it loses the bid, effectively either it halts down, and that could be an exit point, or just we'll have to play a trend line. But for now, we've got the prior bar as the exit point. I just saw the tap bounce a little bit, so there's some life in THH. It was at 280 the tap, now it's saying 312, but it's still going to be a bit of a dog. And V, we remember Twin V. Oh, it's not a lot of volume, but it's halted anyways. That just hit the scanners, obviously. 40%. This was a habitual line stepper from before, everybody. So if you're getting excited about some of these runners going, this one was nasty on the way back in. Obviously, great for a couple of days, but when they sold this one, it came all the way back. But halted on very light volume, 98,000 shares for V. There's a big difference between like these halters that do millions of shares on the day and the ones that are actually giving you 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, and then these other ones that have done 90,000 shares and have halted. V has done 98,000 shares, and we're 40 minutes from the close. So those are the ones that I feel like those are crazy. Like, I don't know how do you expect to manage risk in a stock that literally doesn't trade? I'm willing to bet V's actually blocked for us because it's so illiquid.
Yeah, maybe.
It should be.
Yeah, well, I mean, that
98,000 shares.
That ARTW was, of course, blocked for us. What the? Okay, I mean, all right, well, we just got SpaceX again. It just did this again on one candle. It was just at 133.60, and it blasted to the high side again there. So, all right, let's get away from it there on SpaceX now, because that was just, instant, just up and then no down. So there it goes, man. We'll lose there on SpaceX. We tried it. It no workout there. As we should just maybe stuck with our longs, but I actually liked these trades into there. And then, we thought that was a little bit of a wick. So we tried it again, and now we'll pass on that one. 134, the price we got was, so there's about a 15 cent or more slippage there because our stop was 25s. We got 39, so 14 cents there of slippage on SpaceX. So that's pretty used to that, on that one. So there it goes. Nice upside trade on SPCS. Congratulations, those of you that wind up having that one. We should have just probably stuck with the long. The question is it a long on SpaceX? I'm going to stay away because, again, not reading it too correctly there. We've liked DraftKings long off of 21s, so that's pulled back quite nicely here this afternoon back into $24. It's funny because the market's not really doing too much right now. We did get into a quarter of a unit right now on Apple, so it does break that 50. I'm going to try it back. I mean, maybe this could be a losing afternoon. I mean, that's very possible right there. If this comes back in, we do want to try it right here at 25 period moving average. So if we are able to get an average in there, we'll have half a unit in total, and then we'll wait to see if it breaks back down below 307. So we'll try to get half a unit on Apple here, see if we can do any kind of damage on that one, but this one could fall right back in as well. So
for those, sorry. It was just for someone asked about the early look for the imbalances. It's about as quiet as the market, unless you're really hyper into Coupang here. 1.1 million to the buy side. Cliff, we've actually seen Cliff on the imbalance locator multiple days last week. Didn't do anything on any of them. SU's a sell. These are the ones that are close to a million. Everything else is way underneath. FXI, sometimes fun to watch for the Amex ones. 580,000 on the early look. And it's not like it's 3 o'clock. It's 3:22. We're getting pretty close to the time where some of these might perk up. What was that BL Blaze? Why do I know that stock? BLZE.
Maybe there was some Halting.
BLZE. Something about that is ringing a bell. Sorry, if I see it on the locator. It was running this morning. That's what. I think there was people in the chat that were going on possibly about BLZE. Well, it's got a very small sell imbalance so far, but it's just Coupang, and I don't think Coupang's really moving much off of that. 1.1 million. Look at the stock. It's not doing anything. So I think the imbalances are a bit of a nothing burger. What is moving? Silver and gold. Still blasting higher. Like the metals are back. They are back in a big way. And it's like every single time they tick up, I swear Bitcoin ticks lower. It's almost like a dollar goes into gold and it comes out of Bitcoin at this point. They couldn't be more different at this moment. It's just absolutely nasty what you're seeing. But I probably should have been in that SLV. I wrote it off this morning thinking it was going to be done after the open because it couldn't get going. And now all of a sudden, this thing is ramp jobbing. You just had to stick with because right at about 10 o'clock, like it went from like 10 consecutive red candles to a ridiculous uptrend. Like it was just insanity. All right, you're catching a bid here at this 280 on ARTW. So I'm gonna move. It's been making lower highs since VWAP. See this little pattern, which is really, should be pretty easy to see. I don't want it breaking that 310 mark. So I'm not gonna give it past the 310. It's not something I wanna reload. Usually when they fall apart, I wanna see it just completely fall apart, but you can see it catching a bit of a bid. And we didn't get the fill we wanted at 330 to 340, where you really like it under VWAP. So it's a bit of a chase to begin with, so I'm gonna go with a tighter stop just to keep it closer to the vest. Matt Carnes wants to know about DraftKings. I think we discussed DraftKings this morning, or even this afternoon. It was a nice continuation play after the earnings. Like everything else, seems like it's just falling asleep. It got to the 50 period and 25 even and couldn't do anything with that. I still think it's a solid triple bottom here on DraftKings. It just needs to maybe calm down for a day or two and then maybe take another leg after everyone's forgotten about it. The president's taking questions and we need to see what he's talking about, Adair.
First question was about Iran, so we have to talk here. Keep an eye on USO, not too much of a move, but President Trump was just asked if his goal is still mass escalation with Iran. He said, quote, "We still have the ability to escalate." So keeping his options open when it comes to Iran. He also said, reiterating a previous True Social post from today that caused a move up in oil and move up in the market, maintaining that the U.S. is going to be asking for money from Iran for the damage they've done. Back to you.
Well, if Iran wants to ask for money, then it's like, okay, well, we can do that too. Keep it very, very simple. As far as
Well, I mean, it might be better to spend some money on repairing it than all the money it's costing to actually bomb these guys.
But all the contractors are going to get that money.
Yeah, they should.
Well, I mean,
well, it's going to employ some people in Iran and stuff, so that'd be nice too. All right, Apple's starting to go to the upside right now. It's a good thing we got out of SpaceX right there, kaboom. And as that had happened, we had asked everybody, you know, and I just want to say shout out to those of you that were in the chat here. Asked you guys if you guys were green, and so shout out to MF Dane Generous. Lucky green, you were short memory. Okay, you have to have a short memory if you're going to do that, so that was a good one there as well. What's up to battle tested green here? Thank God for sure. Today does feel a little bit risky, but it's more because it's slow. Like I just feel like every position you put on, it's like, okay, you got to, you know, try to let it to go right there. Will BTC reclaim 100K? The answer to that was probably no, but who knows?
By when?
Who uses by ever? I think this person asks. Who actually uses Bitcoin besides hackers, kidnappers, etc.? The answer to that is, I don't know. Mr. Ducats, what's up? Greeny, green. So we say shout out to you today. Let's go silver. Yeah, I mean, hi-ho on those ones on silver there. We could definitely take a quick look there. But look, something good under SpaceX, man, and there it goes. You know, the initial long, and this is the craziest thing about SpaceX, and it's not. I mean, all it does is just give more confidence, I feel like, to the work that I'm trying to put into here. SpaceX long today, 130 to 132. SpaceX long. All right, so that was the number one trade idea today. This is where SpaceX went to. The low of the day is 130. So I like the 130. So this is what I like today, written out, of course, before the market opens. Right there, 132 to 130. So we liked this long area right into here today, you know, on SpaceX. So that was definitely what appears to be a decent look there on the sticky note. And you know, we just got to take it and basically listen and not get too cute. But at least we explained what we tried to do there. And obviously, if I'm going to get long rate there, I'm going to stop out. But if I was here, you know, it is an excuse because you guys know I take these trades. That rate there, 130, and then 130 again twice. So boom, that would have been great. And then we would have not got caught here probably because we'd still be long. But at the end of the day, still responsible for every trade that you're putting on. So short, cashed out. Lose on the long, and that's SpaceX right there at 130, matching right there with the note today. So pretty happy with it. I want to thank all 4,400. I didn't even refresh that. So all 4,400 of you, thank you for that little look there. And we also had the Intel short obviously posted there. There it is, almost 6,000 of you taking a look at that today. So that's kind of cool. But Apple Intel 101 to 100 was a decent short. I should actually take a picture of that and send it in. There's Intel right there. We only wrote down 100 short, boom. So that was a good one, but we don't got it. What about the futures? Still underneath VWAP for today, maybe a short coming in. Apple did go like 20 cents for us. We didn't take it. It's high right there. I think it was 68s. So now pulling back in right now for Apple. Going to take one more fill. In and around, I think I was bidding 25s. No, I was bidding 21s. So that came down to 26s or so. So we'll take a fill right into here and then get stopped out if we do break through 307. I asked in the chat, you have to tell me, is it one or is it one? But right now we're going to go back to the desk and we're going to get name clarification on our Asian market update.
Do you want to start with the name clarification?
Yeah, sure. I mean, think of it like swan without the S. So it's one. Yeah.
Regardless, we're going to take a look here at the Asian markets with one and what they did last night and what they're going to do today. It looks like it was a pretty green session there.
Yeah, definitely. Asian markets basically trading higher throughout the night. All major benchmarks in the green. We take a look at Japan, the Nikkei 225 up by more than 2%. Chip makers, AI-linked stocks, all leading the gains. Fujikura up by about 7.6%. Advantes up more than 6%. Tokyo Electron also up by more than 4%. Consumer stocks also performed well in Japan. However, financial stocks led the declines, with Mitsubishi Financial down by 1.5%, as well as Mizuho Financial down by more than 2.5%. Over in Taiwan, we could see a huge surge in AI hardware, whereby TSMC rose by about 0.4%. MediaTek also advanced by about 1.5%, while Delta Electronics jumped 10% overnight. However, surging oil prices, of course, limited some of the gains, and there's always a little bit of concern for inflation, raising that of expectations for an interest rate hike in that region. Over in Hong Kong, the Hang Seng Index performed pretty well, 1.05% in the green. There's a lot of growth rebounding right now, especially in tech heavyweights like Lenovo and Xiaomi, both of them more than 2% in the green. And of course, they were tracking that of lower US bond yields overnight. Now, what to expect at the open for tomorrow? Okay, so take a look at the TAIEX, Taiwan, whether or not they can build enough volume, because right now they're testing the resistance level at 45,000 after hitting more than 45,000 on Monday night. Now, monitor how the tech and hardware names operate, as well as what moves they make in the early market. Everyone's going to be, of course, waiting for the US CPI rates later this week, so watch your global bond yields ahead of that. As your 10-year Treasury yields moves, that will definitely impact that of Asian tech and growth sectors, as well as the stocks in those sectors. And there has been some memory headwinds in the region with the South Korean Kospi, of course. There's a reports that Chinese memory supplier CXMT might be going into a tier 1 global supply chain soon with Apple. So that can be something interesting to watch out for.
The CPI on Wednesday, PPI on Thursday, but just as early as tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., we'll see one again for the Euro market segment. See you then. Back to you.
Thank you, another great segment there, One. And with only about 15 minutes till the imbalances, I put up the trend from VWAP. It broke the bar, so stopped it at break even on RW. It's not giving up the ghost as quickly as it was when it first lost the volume weighted average price, but eventually it scalped 15 cents and it came back. You could see this one completely falter, but it's doing just enough to get some juice under it. And the other thing about this ARTW, which probably should have pointed out, it's not the worst looking daily chart for some of these small cappers. Like most of the times, like we'll see just, trash, reverse splits, and pump and dumps. This has had support at $2 for a year now, and it's made a few jaunts. And yeah, it's pulled back, but it's had long-term support, or long enough term support at 2, and it's not like completely upward sloping, but it's not a dumpster fire either. So it does get a little bit of credit for not being like a V habitual line stepper, where it's just only pump, dumps, and splits. That tap on V is 1157. You're still looking at mostly nothing burgers except for Coupang on the. Yeah, I mean, Coupang's not going to do that crazy of a move, I don't think, on the imbalances. But 1.1 million is still pretty solid when it's only done 13 million on the day. And for what it's worth, I mean, it's made a slight bounce on that buy and balance. I didn't think it was going to do much, but it is bouncing off VWAP, and that's with the market doing nothing. The way I want to play this is I hope it comes out at 1 million. I hope it goes into the triple top, and then at 355, you just play the fade when it pairs off, and then you play the reversion because everyone's trying to chase the move. DRAM, I think I'm just going to take out VWAP this time. It's bounced all afternoon. If it decides to continue, then I can take a trade under VWAP for a little bit of continuation after that. Just heard. The president's just saying more on the Strait, but I mean, USO is going right back to the highs.
Yeah, they're saying that they've swept the whole Strait of Hormuz. So they now control it. So stay away from the Strait of Hormuz. All right, man. Apple's coming back in here. We do have one. What's up to one? One unit right now on Apple. So we're going to give this a little bit of a shot just to see. Our stop is like, I was going to, let's just move it to 89s, 306.89, because now, the market is trying to break down here. So, VWAP is right there at, we can go, let's give it a little underneath VWAP there. 306, what did I say that was? 89s, 79. That's generally a level that we don't mind there. And I don't know, it's coming back in. This is not going to be good for the market, right? I mean, the more we talk about this negativity in the Strait, which is why we don't necessarily want to put on a whole bunch here heading into this kind of a thing. And then we also did hear from, one, that CXMT and Apple. And, you know, Apple today, with the market flat, Apple down 2%, might not be in the trade there. But what has gotten underneath SpaceX, man, get going there. Rocket boosters. You know what, we should maybe get under, we should maybe look at some AMC, because what a monster move for the theaters recently. I mean, AMC that was just a monster number.
Spider-Man's
for
putting up
Spider-Man,
stupid
serious numbers, crushing everything.
Your kids
right
seen
now,
it,
but
or?
no, they wanted to go see it last night, but we were just been too busy. Yeah. AMC down 6% there into 240. So yeah, we might go. I mean, I don't know. We can't go tonight busy again. We have a game until 10 p.m. But maybe soon there. But let us know if you guys saw Spider-Man. I've heard really amazing things for that. I thought AMC would have ran on that kind of stuff, but obviously not. The stock that you really need to be focused on, of course, is IMAX. IMAX with Odyssey. We've already, we bought our tickets a month in advance to see the 70.
Crazy trying
to see the 70 millimeters, right?
Crazy.
So we did that. Why not? Right there, miles and miles of film, and it's like millions of pounds. The filming.
How was the sound on Odyssey? Was it good?
We didn't see it.
Oh, wait.
Our tickets are a month
never
in
mind.
advance.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we're going late August to see this
People always
movie.
complain about that for Nolan films.
No, but this is filmed in IMAX in 70 mils. So we're actually one of 40 theaters in North America, and there's 2 of them right here in the GTA. So we had to pay up for, it's like $28 or something to see the movie, which of course is $28 Canadian right there. And that's the problem with having 5 in my household. So just to go see one movie, you're dropping like 2 bills right there. So hopefully it's a good one. But yeah, I really like IMAX taking out the highs right there, and probably more to come. I mean, with the success of Odyssey, maybe there's more and more films that are going to be made under that premise there with the 70 millimeters and IMAX. So yeah, let's see. I think IMAX has had obviously a monster run since Odyssey's been released and since all that sort of talk there. So let's just wait to see what ends up happening. I think you're kind of buying at the top if you're buying now, obviously, but you know, a little bit of a pullback in what should be a strong name. I like that for Odyssey and their their stakeholders there. So for IMAX and their stakeholders. So yeah, a good little look there on IMAX at the highs. That's the beneficiary here, not AMC.
Yeah, well, AMC is just that people want that dream to stay for some reason. Easy Peasy's got the super chat, but not just that. It is short wait a minute. 0.2%, red, short, SNDK, ignored indicators, followed MU. Yeah, well, anything.
Oh, it should be long space.
I mean, it's a timing. If you were shorted at the open, it obviously ramped up. But once this got to like 890, it fell off there. But look at what it's doing now. Sideways all afternoon. Like I was in DRAM, and like if it gets to VWAP and just get out, because look at how, when was the last time DRAM was this sideways? And did the same thing on Friday. Just complete and utter channel in these. So good luck, easy peasy, there if you're able to scratch and claw something out of there for SanDisk or Micron or any of the memory chip names. They just have not had the crazy volatility. SpaceX just really wants to go. I wonder if they're going to get a bid. Does this bode well tonight for ASTS? Well, if the early indications mean anything, yeah, there's no sympathy balance happening in ASTS. It's literally breaking the low of the day as SpaceX goes higher. Rocket Labs, the only good news is it didn't just break, it just made the low of the day. It didn't break the low of the day. So that's also at the low of the day as well. That makes absolutely, I mean, it doesn't, that's not a good look. If the idea is that they got dragged down by the IPO and the turn sentiment, that you think they'd at least get some kind of a relative bounce. But they're their own beast, and they have to put up the numbers tonight. If there are even any, they're not going to have that much. But it's about the growth, really, and convincing that there's going to be long-term growth for a name like that. Ben Zagel just said same thing with Qualcomm today, where the price action was barcoding like the memory names. Yeah, a little bit. The difference with the memory names in Qualcomm is that this is the same range they just sat here and did nothing on Friday. Like this is what I'm getting at. Like it's this range here, like 49.8 to about 50.5, like a less than 1.5% range that once the middle of the day hits, it doesn't move out of it. So that's what's bizarre with DRAM. I think once you trade out of this range, it should be a flyer. But Yeah, something strange going on with those. As with only about 10 minutes to go to the imbalances, my gut tells me maybe SpaceX is going to have one, the way it's moving around.
Yes, for sure. All right, like this again just went amazing 10 cents in the money for us on Apple, but didn't take it again. The most we've ever had in this is 15 cents. So, oh man, like I don't want to lose 30 cents just because we're sitting around here waiting for something to happen on Apple. That is a nice recovery. Excuse me, they're back in the market. I need to go get some water. But yeah, that's a nice move back in. So let's take a little bit out if it gets back to 35, then some out if it gets to 40, and then there it goes. That's me sitting there. Okay, so we get filled there, 35s. Now we're waiting at 40s, was it? Yeah, 39. So are we getting that fill yet? Give it. The part filled. Okay. Got a little bit out there at 39. So we'll get the rest out if it takes us out. Right now at 39, it's going to sort of blast that level. Maybe it does it, maybe it doesn't. Do that right there. And we're almost out. We're still getting partial filled on. There it is. Now we're out of Apple. So far, so good there as that's starting to go higher. And like I just showed you guys there on SpaceX, man, we just tweeted it out again. It was just too bad because those are the levels that we'd written down, and there goes SpaceX. And as Neil said, definitely something underneath that name as it is just mooning into the close. Wow. Have your outs, man. But, you know, what's up to easy peasy? I know sorry that today was a red day for you, but that's the reversal, right? We should have, like the minute we got above VWAP, the only reason we were short is because we were underneath. And then we even right here, we started to second guess ourselves. So really happy there. All right, man. Can we make back just as much as we had lost there potentially on on SpaceX with our good friend over here, Apple? Potentially. Right now, we actually wound up taking a full unit in Apple on that downswing there. So looks like it may work out for us, hopefully anyways, to the long side on Apple, but may not. We're already out of 40% of that trade. So let's just keep on sort of breathing easy here with Apple and see what we can do if it wants to get a little higher. But I'm getting nervous because we're now only 6 minutes away. Sorry, check that, 8 minutes away into those imbalances. And if Apple comes red, then yeah, it's going to be dead red and we are dead on that trade. So let's just get some more out there. I'm waiting at 31s again. It doesn't fill me very often. There it goes through. So 16 more cents on this one. Let's get back up to the upside on Apple. We can leave the rest of this. I'll wait for my 50s and then we'll wait for something a little higher as here goes Apple one more time into 40. I lied. I'm going to take a 41. There it is. Now let's cancel what we had at 48, put a little bit up there and now wait for it. Here goes Apple. Yes. Starting to get back up to the upside now on AAPL. So all is well for now on Apple. Let's see where it goes into the close. And of course, everybody watching SpaceX, hopefully watching Palantir as well. That's come way back in. We have done well to get out of that one there. But yeah, SpaceX into the close. 138s. Let's see, man. Is 140 incoming? I'd say yes, but is it going to happen today? We'll have to wait to see. SpaceX into the close should have a big imbalance.
Yeah, and also some people are saying Marvell is dumping here. So I was just looking at the imbalance. There's still nothing on there. Dumping's the wrong word, but it did give up the ghost. There was that headline this morning. Everything was looking fine for Marvell right into the open, and then they just sold it off, and it continues to go lower. It was Microsoft that looked very good. West Palm Beach trade says SpaceX to 140 and then to 150. Well, for the levels, you're not wrong. The most obvious of those levels is going to be 150. I think everyone and their mother is going to be looking at that number. It's what a lot of support was at the 150 level. And I promise you this, there's a lot of people that bought at 150 or in front of 150. Let's be real. So when it gets to that price, there's going to be some people that bought hundreds saying that's an obvious place to take profit. There's going to be others that are like, oh, no, I'm an idiot. Let me just get out. The stock is fundamentally broken. And I do still feel there might be some money that likes the notion of getting into Tesla instead for a backdoor way to be able to get into SpaceX. But that's neither here nor there. Whether we get to 150 or not tomorrow, I feel like that's going to be an obvious like turning spot. I didn't really think that about 140 today, but I'll feel that about 150 if we do get there. Okay, SpaceX is now, I was kind of hoping it would last until 350. But it doesn't look like the uptrend is not going to last until 350. It's putting in the reversion candle now. Would have loved to have seen an imbalance on SPCX and then taken a shot. And of course, the second we get out of DRAM, it loses VWAP. So it's now starting to lose the volume weighted average price, too close to the end of the day, or at least those imbalances to try to jump into it, something new. I want the back end of the trade if we can. Got my eye on Coupang still. Coupang, SpaceX, we'll have the eyes on. Probably a good idea that we got out of ARTW. Artsway, that small capper that gave it up, it didn't do much. It's now starting to lose the bid, but at the end of the day, I think you're just sort of gambling on that close. The idea is for it to close the gap before you start getting into the end of the day. But there it goes, 2-set downside. I still hold true. If a parabolic mover loses VWAP and confirms underneath, it's a short. And you take the shot at it. There was that NME or whatever the heck it was, the one that went from like 70 cents to 30 cents. And there was a couple of other ones on Friday that absolutely died, and a couple more today. This one just didn't quite give us the entirety of the move. Oh, SpaceX cut a bit already. All right, there's still a chance it could make one last jaunt to the upside here on SpaceX. But I'm kind of hoping for a sell imbalance on SpaceX. Because up here, if it's a buy imbalance, I wouldn't want to touch it.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I mean, we're not in any position. So I think we'll play the 355 flip anyways on SpaceX. But yeah, there it goes, man.
If there's an imbalance.
Yeah, SpaceX. Yeah, good stock today. Lots of volume, and just upset that I'm not in my own trade. So, all right, let's check out what Intel's doing. Again, off that $100 marker. We can just forget about we missed it today. It's fine. You know, we've only been sitting here. I just checking my Twitter all the way back to 2000, 6+ years, even further than that on X. So, you know, they'll be tomorrow for sure, and I'll be right back in the same spot, God willing, and hopefully giving you know, some good TV, good pod here, good live stream. So make sure you do say what's up to our good friend here in the chat. I got to show this one because it's MF Dane Generous. Thank you so much there for 5 gifted memberships. So go get that money right there coming through. So thank you so much for that one there. It's been a little bit of a slower day, but we want to thank MF Dane for those 5 memberships there. Creating this community has been something pretty special. So, you know, thanks to everybody who continues to help build the community, and that's a good way of doing it. So thank you to MF Dane Generous on that one. That is very generous of you to do that. My eye is just going to stay on SpaceX as we get ready for the imbalances to come through right now, and it looks like 138, 140 incoming here at the end of the day on SPCX. Getting lighter now, okay, like 132. Let's take another piece out here at 132 if we're able to again on Apple. The reason why I'm always sitting on the offer is because we actually get paid to take these trades. So instead of paying, you know, $5 a trade or $1 a trade or 50 cents a trade or whatever you're paying per trade. We just got filled there at 32, by the way. You know, we sit there and get paid. So there's might be getting filled at 32. So otherwise you wouldn't really be able to scalp the way I'm doing it. So shout out to anybody that has, you know, real-time market access like that. A good opportunity to trade with us here at Real Trading if you were looking for that market access, and, you know, getting those fees all sorted out. Very, very importante. With only 2 minutes left there, XLF, of course, the big ETF. Now, some of these are from 929, right? All these NASDAQ ones there, you're going to see from 929. We don't have anything yet. We have some broker, which I've already taken away because there's only a minute and a half left. These Amex ones are still legit. Other than that, man, like XLF has a small sell on it, but it's done almost 20 million shares for 380,000. So yeah, that's not really going to affect XLF, and that's near its highs right here as well, if you check that out. But I'm just getting nervous. We already have our stop on Apple. I've only got a third of that 1 unit left. We put on a unit here. We had got nothing out underneath. So that would be so far, well, okay, we had 15% of a unit there, loaded it up here. So, you know, everything has been profitable to the upside despite our very first entry, but we're gonna now wait 1 minute until those market on close imbalances. And look, man, if it comes red, we'll get stopped out. And that's completely fine. I mean, I don't necessarily want to. I'm gonna take another opportunity right now to get some more 32s there we go, if we're able to. So more outs here as we just start to take 20, 25 cents. Let's take a 40 there if we can get it. And then we'll wait for that 46 that we have as well. So there it is. So we got the 40s, and now we'll wait for 46s and start to get out more and more and more as we have 30% of this position left heading into these. There it is. Give me that 46. We're getting lighter and lighter. Give it. We're sitting there, I think, probably on ARCA. One of my favorite gateways to use is ARCA. Got in trouble by the boss for saying that because all of a sudden ARCA became one of our top gateways around here. So shout out to Real Trading traders. 307.50, 307.54. Here we go again. We're doing it, and we're doing it live, everybody. So spin that money coming out as these imbalances are coming. There goes Apple to the high side. We just got some more out. And without any further ado, the imbalances are now out. And look what just happened to Apple. Thank you for that out up there as it's falling back in right now. Amazon with a sell, 1.4 billion as a sell. Adair will have that number for you in a minute. There's Apple with one of the biggest, of course, the one I'm in is pretty much one of the biggest ones there. Intel with a sell. I already feel bad about that because we should be short at 100. But there's Apple trying to pair off a little bit. Let's see how far this one flushes. And then your boy SpaceX.
Oh, it doesn't even, it's like
as
nothing.
well. Didn't do anything there, but still kicking out near the highs on SpaceX, 138 and change. That's too bad. Of course, Apple has to come that way. What are we going to do? That's why we cashed out. Now 20% left, but still looks like we may lose on that last little bit. Too bad, man. Bank favors Apple sellers there, not buyers. So we'll wait. I mean, maybe it comes back up. We still have our stop it.
Yeah, and SpaceX was a nothing burger. 14,000 shares. That's it.
That's it.
14,000 shares when it's done, 148 million. So it can be the most volatile stock going in, doesn't mean anything. Nvidia just popped up here, wasn't there before, but now 1 million to the sell side there. You can see 1.3 million on the overall market, 1.4 million for NASDAQ, the Dow 480, the Mag 7 560. So kind of nothing burgers. But you do have rocket labs after the bell. I'm going to be looking at Intel's 2.5 million. I'm thinking the pair off trade for Intel. So the closer it gets to 355, it's one of the largest imbalances. So a sell imbalance would move into a buy if it pairs off. So as we get a little bit closer, the wick bottom was down at 97.8, and then the support lows at 97.5. If it's already made a new low 3 minutes before, then there's probably no trade. If I can get something in front of that support at about 354 or close enough to it, then I'd look for that flip trade. But it looks like Intel's already trying to bounce here, but that's what I'll watch. It's the most interesting of the imbalances, I guess. Ken View's meaningless. That it shows up and it never means anything pretty much every time it's in there. Apple's starting to pair off a little bit. Nvidia now down to 900,000. That's about it. Those halters are pretty much dead. So really just a couple of imbalances to look at, and then we'll see what happens. After the bell, we have the 4 names we put in the poll, and then we got Archer. Aviation should be a fun one. That was a stock that looked so good at the open. And then, oops, what happened to you, Archer? That's one of the ugliest 12% up days you're ever going to find.
Here you go.
Like, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, okay. We've seen some, oh, yes, sir. Let's go again right now. There comes Apple, man. We let it drip down. We talked about where we wanted our, okay, good, where we wanted our trade to be. So now let's just start to get out some more here. 11s, 12s, stuff like that, as we were able to buy the dip there and get a little bit of a better price now on Apple. But it is coming back in. We have 2 more minutes until these imbalances try to figure themselves out. And it doesn't, this needs to flip around. Still a strong sell. So there it goes. Yes, yes, yes. Let's keep on getting some more out, man. Here we go. We are ready to rock and go right now on Apple, man. I mean, that was a good one, but not enough time here as it's getting actually bigger to the sell side. I don't mind if it stays a sell and we get taken out, but we only have a minute and a half right now. Intel is trying to crank a little bit. It almost got back to our 100. We'll look at this. That's tomorrow's trade. Today, $100 short on Intel. We wrote it down earlier. Thanks, Joe. We wrote it down earlier today, and it's just if we follow our notes, then we're perfect. Maybe tomorrow we'll actually do that. But then I don't have Palantir written down, and we were able to find that one kind of out of the blue here as well on that dip down early on Palantir. Yes, Apple. Go, okay. It's still not going, but we're taking 25 cents at this juncture, 15 cents right now. So let's see what happens with Apple into the close. And again, thanks for hitting the like button. Let me know if your last, yeah, go Apple. All right, man, we did it right there. Let's get it. All right, bang, right there. Yes, Apple, okay. Boom, we did it, guys. That was a good trade there on AAPL. Told you we do it. There goes Apple. Nice move now, 40 cents back into the money. Yes, sir. So that's a good look there into the close with only now 5 minutes left as we get lighter and lighter on that trade.
Yeah, lighter and lighter as the Nasdaq goes down, Apple goes up, SpaceX just continues to make fresh highs. Intel grew, it didn't go the other way. That's not pairing off. So the hands are off the keys. That's actually staying 2 million shares. SpaceX, by the way, it wasn't much of an imbalance before. Now it's 1 million to the buy side on SpaceX. So that distinctly changed. It was 17,000. That just popped up instead of going the other way. So could still be a reversion as 355 is about to hit. My guess is that 1 million is going to pair in just a couple of seconds. High of the day is at 139 and a half.
Oh,
there goes 355. Whoa.
Give me that
huge
money,
reversion.
like Sharif says right there, man. That's a nice one right there for Apple. As Apple go upside, Apple go boom right there, Neil. Boom, shakalaka. There goes Apple to the upside. So thank you, Apple. We were planning on playing that. We did it. We talked about the reversal. There it is right there. Multiple ways to make money. And there it goes on Apple. So boom, shakalaka. Thank you again for everybody in the chat. But this one was a good one. We were waiting for it to happen there. Apple, we've been playing the long. Make up for that SpaceX. There goes Apple to the long side. I hope everyone's been having a great day. Hit your like and your subscribe there. Neil Short, SpaceX. That looks like a good one.
Very quick and out.
Yeah, good.
So simple. That's the simple version. SpaceX was $1 million to buy for like a split second right before 355. It popped up. I don't even see it anymore. So must have completely paired off. Paired off to 100,000, but it went up through 139, back in through, shorted it through 139, and just scalped it quickly out. So that's that 355 trade that we're talking about on the flip. That's all you're ever looking for.
There's the real dope,
flip.
but we do appreciate that right there. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, great trade there, Neil. Yeah, but there goes Apple. So yeah, really happy with that one. Thank you so much for the comments there, and just glad that we had it. Hopefully we can do that again tomorrow, guys. Again, thanks for all the support that we continue to get on the show. We want to thank Adara for all the news breaks today, right? And then look at USO also, man. We can definitely have a quick look at USO right now. Trying to get back to the highs. I don't know. Was a nice move there, right around 230, right when we closed. Actually, we closed 230 there on USO in the oil markets, not on USO. Of course, it's still open. But yeah, nice move down. Bouncing off the 200 period there today is USO. So nice movement there on United States oil. But yeah, good day today. Nice little day for us. I'm just going to just get out the rest. Like there's nothing else really to do now on Apple. So let's just get out. I mean, if it continues to go higher, then that is fine. But let's just cover the rest of this trade near these highs. Good movement to the high side. Like I said, these imbalances are just pure luck if you're in them. You got to wait to see what winds up happening at 355. And, we did that. I mean, there's the trade right there off VWAP and boom. We're lucky enough to pick this name off of VWAP and there it goes. Upside. So far so good. That ARTW, that one's not doing anything. This name just halted, RETO. So Reto halted there. VEE, $10 and change. So yeah, not too bad. I'm just going to get out of Apple and just enjoy the rest of the day. So my stop will not worry about it. And there it is, out at 80s for Apple for a nice way to end the day there. As SpaceX has gone insane. 138. We like that one. Right now, my average price, I bought 170s and 135s. So my average price is around that 150. We got to hopefully get back into that zone.
I feel like that's going to be the most popular price ever that was owned. Like whether, because everybody and their mother could just see like it's where it opened, it then held there forever. How many times we bounced off 150 before it eventually died, and then it goes right to $100. So the 100 dip buyers are like, oh, that's a nice psychological area to take profit. I just feel like it's going to run into a bit of a wall, potentially tomorrow when it gets there. I don't know, tomorrow, Wednesday, whenever. But the space names that have to worry about tonight are Rocket Labs, stinks, low of the day. ASTS, it stinks, almost a low of the day as well. We have a couple, and HIMS is going to be reporting. In addition, what's crazy is that Intel didn't even pair off until right at the end. Like that sell imbalance on Intel, usually I'm used to Intel, like whatever, like it pairs off at 355 almost every single time. That stayed a few million shares. Up until a minute ago, was still 1 million shares to the sell side. So the sellers were legit there on Intel at the close. So I guess it was built differently. I guess when you announce a shelf, you might get some people out in front of it. So that's why it's not a complete guarantee. You got to see that stock do that bit of a imbalance move or the imbalance pair off before you take the shot at it. 30 seconds till the close. I mean, obviously the names that are reporting after the bell are going to be some smaller cap names. I don't think any of them are for 4 o'clock, but if one of them does pop off, we'll let you know right away. We're only 20 minutes ago. Okay. Plug's the first one? Oh, goodness. Well, that'll probably unplug itself because whatever. that stock.
Yeah. Apple
It's not nice.
No, Apple right now, SpaceX 139 looks like that's
relentless.
where we will get that close from right now on SpaceX 139, and we'll get Apple all the way to the upside as well of 308.20, and that was a good little look for us there at the end of the day, of course, on Apple. So yeah, man, good day overall. Just 3 stocks for your boy and green. We traded SpaceX, we traded Palantir. Palantir was a good one there off the open. And then you guys just saw me trade Apple, obviously, to the green side there for Apple. So, 2 for 3 today. Green day. So far, so good. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. And we have some earnings to go through right now, right? So.
Yeah, nothing's out yet. Plug didn't go. Archer as well. I think Archer's more interesting than some of the other ones that we were talking about, but they're at the 405, I do believe, according to their Rocket Labs, ASTS, HIMS. There's one more that I am forgetting about for sure. QUBT. I like QBTS personally. I think that's my shot play in quantum. But QUBT might be out because they're already heading to the downside. But we don't have the numbers on those bad boys yet. I think tomorrow starts and ends as usual with what the heck is SpaceX going to do. The bid that this caught at the end of the day, that's just built differently. So if it does something similar to this, this is 2 afternoons in a row where at 3 o'clock, this was just going absolutely ham. I don't know if it can do it 3 days in a row, but if it starts going, it's probably worth a join. You got to be able to notice that every single time. Okay, Plug must have just reported because they're actually going upside, believe it or not.
All right, we'll try to follow our rules tomorrow with SpaceX. It's tomorrow's trade today. It's SpaceX long, Intel short. We'll talk about those tomorrow morning. All right, decent day today. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Sharif. Thanks to One over there. Thanks, Tiffany. Fabian's over there. Thanks to my guy Brendan as well. I didn't see if Ramin came through today.
I saw her for a bit.
If she is or not, here she's there. So thank you to Ramin. And I don't think I missed anybody. Andre, maybe. Fabian, Tiffany. I think we're good to go. Sharif, Joe. Thank you to everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you to Michael.
Yeah, Michael Nas.